afternoon. On behalf of the Ferguson staff and the 9 very happy graduates that we have today, I'd like to welcome you to Ferguson's 110th graduation. My name is Ernie Baca. I'm a teacher and counselor at the school, and it's my privilege every quarter to welcome everybody to this great occasion. And we're one of the lucky high schools in the district because we get to have graduations 4 times a year instead of just 1. And it's always really nice to see a church full of people to come and help honor these graduates because they deserve it. And I know that a lot of you people out there are responsible for helping these young people to conclude with the dreams that they have, and that's to graduate from high school. And it's just wonderful. And knowing all these people is just a great accomplishment for them. And I'm glad everybody is here to help share in that accomplishment. And welcome to our graduation. I'd like to introduce Howard Winger.
Hi, John Marie, and thank you for coming. This is a very proud day for us to honor these 9 graduates. The last 9 graduates in the year 1990. How about that? Very, very nice planning on your part, by the way. I'm sure you had a lot of say in that, didn't you? Once again, I'd like to thank Zion for letting us use their building, and many comment on what the church is, and it certainly is. And we thank them for letting us use their church for most of our graduations. It's very nice and accommodates us very well. Also, like to thank Mel for coming in as a volunteer and running our sound system so you can actually hear us when we talk. And that's a plus also. So thank you very much to Zion for letting us do that. Those of you that have babies that are going crazy, it's fine if you go ahead and leave. We'd be happy to let you do that. You can go outside or go out in the foyer behind us, but we'd really like to be able to hear what the graduates have to say. That's the important part of the program tonight or today. And we'll ask you to do that if they can't be controlled, so feel free to do that. Today, we're honored at Harold Ferguson to have 9 graduates. Harold Ferguson, as you know, is a very old alternative high school. 28 years old this year, and starting in 1972 in a little house on South Lincoln, and moving to the old Washington Elementary School for 10 years, and that has been at the current site on East Eisenhower for almost 18 years, starting in 1982. So these guys were born about that time when we moved over to East Eisenhower. So they're ready to graduate, and we're ready for them to graduate. They have performed all the things they needed to do. Finished a proficiency yesterday, but we got 21 credits, 6 proficiencies, a whole bunch of standards, and these guys are fully qualified to be graduates from the Thompson School District. I've been watching sort of, unfortunately, baseball lately because I'm a diehard Braves fan, and the designated hitter kind of hit me as being a very important thing, at least in the American League. And even though I'm distraught about the Braves losing in 4 to the Yankees, I'd like to introduce to you some designated hitters, those people who really make a difference to these young men and women up here facing you, these 9 and 99 graduates. That would be the staff at Ferguson High School. I'd like to introduce them to you and have them stand. First, I would like to recognize some very special people from our central office who come here and support us in graduation and in a lot of other ways too. If you'd stand, please, and I'd like to recognize them with a round of applause. Notice that Don Stahl is here, our superintendent. Ron Rodback, who's our director of instruction, is also here. Pat Chase is here, one of our board members. And I don't think there are any others. Let's reward them. Thank you very much. Psychologist. Karen Brown is a teacher in the building. Barbara Clark is an office aide and nurse aide. Jody Culver works at our cafeteria. Karen Diener is a member of our nursery staff. Julie Engel is a nursery staff member also. Julie Feeney is a program specialist. Kathy Graves is a teacher and youth coordinator. Barb Hartman is our school nurse. Becky Klein is our another technologist in our building. Wendy Kuscheva is a teacher at Ferguson. Anita Koshio is a special ed tutor at Ferguson. Gene Keel is a teacher and team parent program coordinator. Kim McKenzie is a resource teacher. Audrey Mills also is on the Ferguson will be proud of this group of 9 because they represent all that he established Ferguson High School back in 1972. They're students who are here for one reason or another from one of the 3 schools in our district, or maybe even from another school outside of the district. A couple of staff members and I commented a day or two ago that these are just 9 nice kids. Very fine young men and women that we're really happy to present to you as graduates. Following our giving away, which we do like a marriage, have a couple of people or one staff member come up and say something wonderful and mostly true about the graduates. And they will also recognize the families in Ferguson in their part of the presentation. But we feel like we're giving them away to the world, and I really agree with the comments that these are 9 nice folks. We're really sorry to lose them, but we're glad for them that they're leaving us going on to a new life after graduation. So those 2 people will present the graduates, and then they'll say some things to you. Following all this, we'll have a reception right out in the foyer outside of the church, and we'd like to invite you to stay for that. We have cake, I think, and punch, and whatever, and it'd be nice to shake and hug the graduates, and any combination. And I hope you look at it. If you look around, look at all the support we have for these 9 folks. This is a full house. Design Lutheran would be happy to have this many. They like this. Full houses are nice. We have nobody in the front row. That's very typical. So things look okay here. You guys are welcome to come in. I'm beautiful in the front row. You can stay quiet. Well, without any further things, let me present to you this fine class of 1999, the last class of 99, and allow the presenters to give it away, Edie and Kathy.
It's my pleasure to introduce our first graduate, Emily Brennan. Such an honor to be here with Emily today. Emily means a lot to me. I've been lucky enough to have her in my advisory group for about 2 years now. In that time, I've come to know that she is the embodiment of vivaciousness. I learned that later on she told me she won the brightest smile award, her first award ever, and she has continued that reputation. She's going to be a bright, lively, and bubbly person. This may be the most obvious of her traits, but it's not her only positive asset. Emily has shown herself to be bright and talented and a true leader. In all of the classes I've had with Emily, it's been a pleasure. She's excelled my expectations in every area. She's self-motivated and determined. Whether it's in science or in leadership, she's the first to take initiative and to encourage all the other students. Emily brings life to every situation, and I know I will miss her. She's a very special person, and she means a lot to all the people she touches. Congratulations, Emily.
Well, I can see my experience with Emily is a little different than I don't know what to start about, so let me tell you a little bit about her. First, I'd like to say I really am happy and pleased to be giving Emily away today, because beside me stands a young woman that I've seen grow and mature, a young woman who is striving to live, learn, and grow in all aspects of her life. A young woman that I now really enjoy working with. But let me tell you about the past. I'm going to tell you a little scenario. I embellished it a little bit, but you'll get the point. It's pretty accurate. Last year, each quarter would begin, and I'd receive my CPT class list, and I'd anxiously peer down to see which names I might be scared of. And my eyes would fall on the name of the student formerly known as Emily Lake, and I would suddenly revert to a 2-year-old whiner. Oh no, not Emily! Again! The first day of class would begin. We'd be going over the syllabus with me explaining the amount and caliber of work to be expected. And now someone else would revert to a 2-year-old whiner. Why do you have to do all that? Is it required? This is really stupid. Well, needless to say, This year when I got the class rosters, I looked down and not only was Emily's name on my CDT list, but she was also in one of my ACE classes. And being the master teacher that I've become in the last year with my experience at Ferguson, I obviously said, oh no, 2 classes! Well, we got into class. Once again, I'm going over my syllabus. And all of a sudden, I hear someone saying, why do we have to do all of that? Is it required? And all of a sudden, before I can respond, I hear someone say, just suck it up and do it. I found that get out of an experience is what you put into it. And I looked over at Emily, and when I got up off the ground, I realized that the new Emily Brown had arrived. Emily has had to deal with several serious emotional and physical obstacles this quarter, but she has shown great resolve and fortitude. My challenge to her is to continue on her quest for knowledge and personal growth. I am proud of you, Emily.
Jeannie, Bonnie, and Brianna Roberts. Go ahead and stand up. Marcy and Dudley, who are my parents. Lori Brown, and Gerald Brown, who is my husband and his mother, and Sheldon Roberts. Throughout these years, these people have been nothing but a great support to me and have shown me nothing but love, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you. So incredibly supportive. The one person that I really have felt lately that has made the 2 people, that made the biggest difference, of course, is my husband, Gerald Brown, and a wonderful lady named Ambrosia Kirby. Thank you so much for all your love and support through everything. And Evie, I can say something and everything that everyone would say, but I can do it without crying. I love you. You've been the best support. You've taught me more than anyone ever has in my life, not only about myself, but at school as well. And Kathy, just, you didn't have a sense of humor today. And of course, all the other teachers, you've shown me strength, you've shown me love, you've shown me encouragement, you've shown me respect, and that's more than I've ever gotten at any other school I've been to.
Next up, my esteemed colleague and fearless leader, Brian Murphy and Howard Weicker.
We'd like to honor today Senator Bias. I saw another Tobias in the audience that I did the same sort of thing to about 10 years ago, so we go a ways back there in the old Tobias family. Seth started out in a long while ago in high school, about 93 with Paulo. Many of the audience weren't born in, but Seth was starting out line. Uh-oh, Tom's about. Well, okay. You got 6 credits that first year, that's very good. Second year got 9. Rich Ferguson the first quarter got 9. Spring of 96 got 2 credits. That's good. That was negative, actually. 1 quarter. And then in 96, 97, you went to Ferguson all 4 quarters. 97, 98, you went 3 of the 4 quarters. Last year, you went 2 of the 4 quarters. Well, Seth's back and finally graduated. I'm real proud of Seth because he is really old and pushing the limit of what he can do for public education. How old is Seth?
Seth is so old, he's the only person I know that has an autographed picture of Moses.
Well, Seth is our oldest graduate, as you can tell. I took him down to the Civic Center, and they gave him a senior discount.
Seth is so old that on his first fishing trip, he collected seal cans.
Seth has really been a great inspiration to all of us because he's stuck to it. He's had lots of adversity in his life. As you can tell, starting back in the fall of '93 at Thompson Valley High School. But he stuck with it and persevered and won the high school diploma. And I'm very glad that we're able to present him to you today as a fine graduate of the class of '99.
Yeah, Howard tells me that I must be about 30 right now, and believe me, I feel it. For my family, please stand up. Cool, I don't know what this right. I'm here to start with Mother Luke, and my mother Josh, and my dad, and my sister Heidi, my mom, and my girlfriend Rosie, and her son Jacob, and my sister Carrie. And I just want to thank you guys for having faith in me, even when I lost faith in myself. And it took me a while, but here I am, you know. And it feels good. And I'm ready to take the next step out in life and really do something, you know. So, thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. I just want to say thanks to everybody at Ferguson because without you guys, I probably would just be another high school dropout. And I know there's words I don't think can express how much I owe to you guys. You guys have taught me so many valuable lessons that I didn't ever even think I could learn in high school. And you guys just keep up the good work. You guys are doing wonderful work for kids, and I love you guys. You're great. Thanks.
Next up, I will be giving away the next graduate with E. Parker.
All right, please congratulate Tiffany Stevenson. It is wonderful to have Tiffany here today. She has achieved so much while she's been at our school. In the beginning, when she came to our school, she was quiet, and she certainly didn't seem very happy. But she was really the epitome of resilience. She has gone through so many things, and yet here she is today. Throughout her career, she has endured and flourished. Every quarter was better than the one before. In leadership, she's taken a strong role. She actively participates, actively volunteers, encourages other students. She's invested in her education and her success. She has chosen to be strong and chosen to be dedicated, not allowing anything to stop her from graduating. It's so exciting to see her today that words honestly do fail me. Tiffany is a bright, intelligent, strong-willed person. I know she will do well. We will all miss you, Tiffany. Congratulations.
Tiffany has, I think, the record up here. We'll have to compare later, but how many high schools did you go to? I started school in Springfield, Missouri. I went to Loveland High School for a while, went to Home High for a while, went to Ferguson for a while, went to Canyon City for a little while, and now I'm back at Ferguson High School. She's traveled a long ways to get to this diploma today. I'm not going to give her the frequent flowers, but she's certainly that. I've had the privilege of having Tiffany as well in the class, and Tiffany is a very bright young lady. In fact, she was in the class one for about 3 days and dropped it and then I said, "Where's that smart chick?" I don't know where she went, but anyway. She's got lots of credits. She got 7 credits when she was a freshman, 6 as a sophomore at Loveland High School, and then kind of dropped off in her junior year to just 1.75 credits. She went on into Ferguson High in Canyon City and then back to Ferguson and has a great report card, lots of A's and B's, a very smart young lady. And I can't think of a better person to send to the world than a nice, smart young woman. Back to them.
I had to write down what I was going to say because I thought I might get a little bit of stage fright and forget. The lighthouse Ferguson symbol says it all. I have come through a lot of tough times with my eyes on one goal, graduation. The life that has led the way for me is Ferguson. I owe Ferguson staff and teachers more than I can ever repay for this honor. And I would like all of the staff and teachers to stand for a round of applause. Now I would like to thank the people that have all taken a part in making me who I am today, supporting me and encouraging me and loving me. All of my family and friends, please stand for a round of applause.
All right, the next two presenters are Karen and Lynn.
It's my privilege to introduce our next graduate, Becky Jacobson. This is Becky. As I was thinking about her, I wondered if people would have also remembered the expression, bloom where you are planted, because Becky has really done that since she transferred to Ferguson in the 97-98 school year. At that time, she enrolled in the teen parent program, and she said that it was her daughter who motivated her to succeed in school. Well, in the last 2 years, she has really succeeded in school. Before she transferred, her cumulative grade point at one time was about a 1.0. And since she's been at Ferguson, she's passed every single class she took. She's never been up for a quarter. She always had a full load of classes, and her grade point now is close to a 3.0. So she's really done a turnaround. Becky's real interested in working in the floral industry, and as I was thinking about that last night, I thought I'd like to give her her flower a little early in this ceremony. Because there's lots of ways that she could be compared to a flower, and I'd like to share some of those with you. First of all, when you're walking through a flower garden, you probably notice that the flowers are all pretty quiet. Becky's like that too. She doesn't talk a real lot, so when she speaks, we know it's important and everybody listens. The second thing I thought about with flowers is when there's a storm coming, the flowers may bend a little in the wind, but they stay calm. You don't hear them running around yelling, whining, or harassing the other flowers. Becky's a calm person too. She just does what needs doing, even when there's demanding times and storms on the way. One of the reasons we like flowers so much is that they're beautiful. Well, Becky is a beautiful person, as you can see, but she's not just another pretty face. She also has a really pretty personality. She told me the other day that the most important thing she had learned in the last 2 years was to be more accepting and open to other people. We've really enjoyed having her around here. When you leave the flower garden, you do so reluctantly, but the memories stick with you. That's the way we feel about Becky leaving us. We're reluctant to see her go, but we look forward to her return to tell us about the new places she is moving. I've mainly had Becky in my leadership for the past 5 quarters, and just like Jean said, she's just kind of a quiet leader who tries to keep things simple. That's kind of her philosophy in life, to keep it simple. This last quarter, she simply suggested that for Advisory Day, we go to Estes Park and we have our picture taken at one of the old-fashioned places, one of the old-fashioned picture photography places. And so everybody did. We just decided to go. We ate at Subway. We drove through the mountains, and we put on costumes. Now that wasn't quite so simple because everybody wanted to get hold of the guns and the whiskey bottles. It was hard to decide which costumes we wanted to get on, but it ended up being a really fun experience, and we have a picture to show our afternoon and to remind us of the fun that we had, because it was Becky's suggestion. She wanted to do something special for the last quarter at Ferguson. Becky is interested in flower arranging as well as interior decorating. And so Gina and I got this for you. It's just a little simple candle to remind you of Ferguson High School and to decorate your home. And we know you have a great future, and we just want you to continue to let your light shine like the light of a candle. Congratulations.
Can my friends and family stand? I'd like to introduce, starting on the left with Drew. She's a friend of the family. My dad, Lowell. My daughter, Danica. My mom, Bonnie. My grandma, Grandma Jacobson. My grandma and grandpa behind him. My Aunt Sandy videotaping right there, waving. And my fiance and his parents behind my grandparents. I'd also like to thank Ferguson for being there for me and helping me graduate. I'm glad I'm here.
Our next presenters are Brian Murphy and Kathy Grace.
Okay, the next graduate is Leanne Kidd. What can I say about Leanne? Leanne was one of those students that always used to ask questions, and I encouraged that in all my classes. But the thing I remember always about Leanne is she asked like these questions that were like from Jeopardy. I always felt like I was like double Jeopardy, and they were like stumpers, you know. And I could never understand who she get this from. She has like a microphone or something, and she's somebody outside feeding her these questions. They were pretty incredible, pretty hard to answer, so I tried to do my best. I recently read a autobiography that she had to give at the graduation presentation, and in there was a sentence that I really had to chuckle about, because it said that she wanted to be treated like a queen. And I really tried to do that. I tried to treat her like royalty, because to me she was a royal pain in the butt. But that aside, she's a great student, beautiful person. Good luck to her.
Leanne is a tenacious individual. She sets her sights and then latches on and bears down. You might still be able to see some of the teeth marks on Mer's shoulder there. But she's the kind of person that never says never. Well, almost never. Last year, Leanne was in my first hour class, and she wasn't showing up, which was really out of character for her. She's a very good student. And when she did show up, she looked bad. I mean, bad to the bone. When I first approached her about it, she just told me she was feeling bad. But being the conscientious student that she is, and being out of points, she continued to come into class. Well, she went from bad to, shall we say, death warmed over. So I approached her again, and this time she said she had been diagnosed with mononucleosis. But she wasn't going to let that stop her. She knew that if she just buckled down, worked harder, she was going to make it through the quarter, pass all her classes, take a full load this first quarter, and graduate today. She kind of croaking this all out of her throat because her throat is so sore she could barely talk, and her face is white as a ghost, and she looks like a strong breeze would knock her over. And this is what she, this is her plan, her game plan. Well, with a lot of prodding, Leanne ended up taking some NCs for her classes last quarter. But the rest of her story and plan are exactly like she intended. After Leanne began to feel better this summer, she made up all her schoolwork for fourth quarter, completed her ACE work experience hours, took a full load this quarter while working not one but 2 jobs. I mean, this young woman has given it her all and has really accomplished so much in a very short period of time. The great thing about Leanne is I know that her accomplishments will continue, and my challenge to her is to continue on with her education and goals with the courage and tenacity she has displayed here. Leanne Kid, I am very proud of you.
I wasn't going to cry, but I'd just like to thank all the teachers that I had and all the ones that I didn't have because you all make a difference in my life. I love standing to death because every morning I'd come in and she'd say hi, it never failed. I'd like to thank my family, most of them are standing up in the back. If the ones that are not, could you please stand? I have my sister, maybe my grandma, and my Aunt Deb, which stood underneath that one. My dad, my brother, and I would name other people, but I can't. Oh, my mom and my grandma and my great-grandma. I couldn't find my contacts. But I'd like to thank you all. I would be graduating still, but just at Loveland High, not as early, and I would hate every second of it. Thank you guys.
I'm proud to introduce our next graduate, Eric Peterson. Well, Eric and I have had quite a history together. See, we started at Ferguson at the same time last year, and we've both grown as a result of our experiences together. First quarter last year, Eric ended up in my newly acquired leadership class. And I think the only new people in the class were Eric and Josh Gleason and myself. All the rest were from the previous regime. Well, uncomfortable does not begin to describe how us newbies felt in this foreign environment. We were new meat, on point, in hostile territory. Eric really showed a lot of restraint and survival skills to make it through that first quarter, especially since I wasn't much help, since I was trying to survive myself. But he did survive, and he became well-liked by his peers and a quiet leader in the class. Eric and I had another growth experience near the end of last year, and without going into a lot of details, suffice it to say, I got the opportunity to meet his parents for the first time at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not an ideal time for any of us, but what I saw from that experience is that Eric's reaction to adversity, his acceptance of responsibility, and perseverance to do what he needed to do in order to come back this quarter and reach his goal of graduation really showed me a lot about his character. I've seen Eric's growth while he's been here, and I really like the person I've come to know and the one that I can continue to see emerging. My challenge to you, Eric, is to see your dreams, set your goals, and keep your eye on the prize. I am really proud of you, Eric Peterson.
I'm extremely proud of this young man also. If you lived through the 60s or grew up through the 60s, you know there was a group called Hot Tuna. And they had a song called I Saw the Light. And when Eric first came, it was apparent that, he wasn't really focused on school or maybe a few other things. But all of a sudden, he saw the light. And again, without going into details, he exercised what I believe are some personal demons that are extremely hard to do if you're anybody, nevertheless a young man. But he did, to his credit. He is a hard-working, dedicated person. I sincerely hope that he can stay on the straight and narrow, and I will miss him. Good luck and congrats, Eric.
My family and friends, please stand. Oh, you're not friends? All right, that's my grandfather. That's my grandma. That's my brother. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's Annie. Can't really recognize that person. And my other friends is Carla, my best friend AJ, Matt, Noel, and all them guys over there. Yeah, but anyways, you guys can sit down. Okay. I really appreciate what Ferguson's done for me. I'm very, very, very fortunate that I had the chance to be able to attend Ferguson. I really love the teachers, really got to know the teachers. It's going to be hard to separate, but it's going to have to happen one of these days. But, all the staff and all my friends and family really helped push me through it. And if it wasn't because of Ferguson, I wouldn't have gone, I probably would have dropped out like Seth said. And, I'm glad I pulled through, so thanks.
I'd like to introduce the next presenters, Howard and Joe.
We're here to honor our next graduate, Christina Williams. Well, wherever it is. Anyway, Christina is, am I saying that? She's very uncomfortable with this outfit, and I told her that was part of the design of the cap and gown way back in the 1800s when they invented this garment. It's meant to be the most disgusting looking, most inappropriate, all that stuff. So anyway, Christina's here to show us that. Let me tell you a little bit about Christina and the background. Christina, I hope this is right, Thompson Valley? All right. Went to Thompson Valley the first couple of years, got 12 and a half credits, which is really quite good for the first 2 years there. And then she kind of dropped off and got 2.5 credits her junior year. Came back to Ferguson last year, got 5.5 credits, and then finished up this quarter. In her last 2 quarters at Ferguson, she got all A's and B's. She is one of the few people that I know who can not only do well academically, get very good grades, but also has a very keen sense of humor, feels very comfortable around adults and students. She is just a real gem. I'm excited about seeing her out in the world. I think we're going to have a better place because of Christina Williams.
Hi, how she's grown. This is a real privilege for me. As those of you who have been at graduations prior, you know I'm the queen of props. So, of course, the last few days I've been thinking of my prop for Christina. Well, let me tell you how I think of Christina. Christina started off last year, first quarter, in my school survival class. And as some of you know, I came in about a month into the quarter after being almost killed in an accident. And Christina was one of those who instantly embraced me. I mean, she welcomed me in with a whole group of new students who didn't know me from Adam. I wasn't able to be here for specials week, nothing. And she instantly took a lead role in the class, was open, was sharing, was positive, and I would say painfully honest. I mean, admitting some of her faults, as well as her areas that she knew she wanted to strive in, what she wanted to do, her recreational habits, and her wants to change some of those recreational habits. I mean, I was so impressed instantly. Well, this year I had an even greater privilege of having Christina then end up in my leadership for this last quarter, where once again, not only did she take on a real leadership role and a positive role, but she was very much what I would say a real support for me, a real motivator. And when I think of Christina, I think of this balancing person, somebody who could just go from one thing to another, who just is always lively, always energetic. She was sick most of the quarter, and yet she always was there, taking pictures in photography. I also had a photography class. And I just think she has a tendency to be able to go all over the place. So I thought of, if I wasn't in a church, I would have bounced the Super Bowl when I walked up there, but I would be afraid it would knock off some of the stained glass windows. But when I think of Christina, I think of the Super Bowl, because she is a super person. She's very lively. She can, like I said, juggle things and bounce from one thing to another with ease. She has a wonderful smile. She makes me smile. I know she's excited about getting out here. She said she's going to see me every Wednesday from now until the end of the year, so that fourth quarter, her name is being announced again and again for scholarships. So I look forward to at least not losing touch with her, and I really do hope she follows her goals. She's looking to go to Ames in graphic design and technology and to be a webmaster. She got that interest last year from taking some classes, which is so much more having her feet on the ground than this ball probably indicates. And so, Christina, I'm so very proud of you. I'm so glad I got to meet you, and I wish you the very, very best.
I wasn't going to cry, but I'm probably going to, so don't laugh at me. Most of all, of everyone, I want to thank my mom for this trip. Stand up, Mom. Without you, I wouldn't be here today. And you're the wonderfulest person in my life. And I'd also like to thank my father, sorry, who couldn't be here today. And I'd like to thank the rest of my family because they're the backbone, and I love them very much. I'm not going to have them stand up because it's embarrassing. I want to thank all of my friends because my family lives away, and they've become my second family. They take care of me. And my boyfriend Adam, because he's my love of my life, and his family, they've given me lots of support. And I'd also just like to say thank you, Ferguson. The teachers here are just wonderful. They've shown me the most respect and the most, moral justice that I can ever explain. They're the greatest teachers I've ever had. And I just want to let you all know that you've done so much for me. And I just want to thank you all. Thanks.
I'd like to reintroduce Edie Parker to give away our next graduate.
Please join me in congratulating Chris Stevenson. This is very hard for me because Chris is a student I will not forget very easily. He has been in my leadership class, and in my aid, been in English classes. In the time that I have seen Chris and been around him, he's opened up quite a bit. I remember the first time that we ever got to really talk, and that was at a car wash fundraiser a few years ago. And he just joined our school, and he was very shy, and he was very unsure of himself, and didn't know if this is where he really wanted to be. But he has the desire to succeed, and he's finally made it. His interests, he wanted me to share with you, are theater and Channel 14. He got to participate in. He's very proud of these, and he's very good at what he does. I got to witness a little bit of this during his graduation presentation. They gave a very polished, very well done presentation. He's shown his intelligence. He's shown his empathy toward other students, and most of all, at least to me, he has shown great integrity. I I know that I will dearly miss seeing you every day, and I'll miss our conversations. Chris, I couldn't be happier for you. Congratulations.
I just want to thank Ferguson staff. You guys are the most wonderful people I have ever met. I'm going to miss you all very much. I'm going to miss Sandy and Lily coming in and just having her smile and say hi. Just made my day every morning. You guys push me and let me know what my capabilities were. I was able to find those, and I thank you guys for that very much. Thank you, and I love you all. My family would please stand up. I have no idea what I can say to you guys. You guys are the most supportive group of people I have ever met. And I'm just proud to be part of the family, and I thank you guys, and I have a lot of love for you guys, and I thank you a lot. That's all I have to say to you guys. And I'd also just like to thank my friends. Without you guys, I couldn't have done a lot of things, and you guys helped me a lot, and I just want to thank you, and I love you guys too.
Howard and I have the pleasure of introducing the last graduate, Melissa Thunberg. Melissa is quite the enigma. She is a very interesting and talented person. She's interested in poetry, writing, animals, hard sciences. She isn't sure what she wants to do after she gets out of high school, but she's interested in vet tech, maybe doing some engineering, or even writing. But she's very talented in all of these. It was truly a pleasure having Melissa in my class. She's dedicated to her education, and she's very conscientious. Despite obstacles, sicknesses, various things that happened during the quarter, she endured, she exceeded my expectations. I had the pleasure of getting to know her even better very recently on a field trip to the Higher Education and Advanced Technology Center. She was interested in some of the schooling there, and she shared with me the excitement she has about her future and all of its possibilities. She has many choices, and she has the confidence and the ability to achieve whatever she chooses. Congratulations.
Put the card on my face. Okay, put the glasses on my face. All right. Melissa also came to us from Thompson-Barr High School, right? Okay. Those transcripts. Anyway, she did very well also her first 2 years. She got 13.75 credits in 2 years, which is really unusual for students coming to us. She's really have a lot less. But she came with a lot of credits, and since she's come to Ferguson, as Edie said, she's just knocked the doors off of our school. She took 3 quarters in a row where she got 1.25 credits, 1.5 credits, 1.5 credits. And this quarter she's gotten all A's and B's in her report card and just done very well. To me, I think the whole statement was that the Communist Party is a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Is that the way it was? Anyway, I think there's a riddle inside of the enigma that is Melissa. And that is that she always has something really funny to say to everybody she meets. She's quick to bring a smile to our faces. And she was always encouraging me to work harder. And I really always appreciated that. So I will miss that, and I hope none of you students listening at Ferguson heard that, because I don't need to hear any more of that forever. And I appreciate Melissa because I think that she is going to do just what Edie explained to you doing, and going to do something, I'm not sure what, but do it very well. Congratulations, Melissa.
saw you tonight. You guys have supported me through everything I've done, all the crap I put you through, and I put you guys through hell, I know that. And I just want to thank every one of you guys that came to my graduation. I know that you guys actually do care for me. And I'm going to miss the FHS staff mostly, because it's like losing a part of my heart to you guys.